Day 19 of the war, and overnight, Iran launched cluster missiles directly at central Israel, killing a couple in their 70s near Tel Aviv. Iran called it revenge for the assassination of security chief Ali Larijani. Israel responded by killing Iran's intelligence minister in an overnight strike on Tehran, its second minister in under 24 hours. In Beirut, Israeli jets bombed the Bashoura residential neighborhood in the heart of the city, killing 6 more people and pushing Lebanon's death toll past 912 since March 2nd. Back in Washington, the head of the National Counterterrorism Center resigned, becoming the first senior Trump official to quit the war, saying, quote, "Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States." And oil markets hit $106 a barrel as Iran's Hormuz blockade enters its third week with no end in sight. This is your Frontline Brief for Day 19. Iran launched what it called a revenge barrage overnight, firing cluster missiles at central Israel following the assassination of National Security Chief Ali Larijani. The attack killed a couple in their 70s in Ramat Gan, a city just east of Tel Aviv. Emergency responders say the two were unable to reach their building's shelter in time. The cluster munitions penetrated their apartment roof and detonated in the living room. 5 other people were wounded in the same building. A Tel Aviv train station was also set ablaze. This marks the first successful Iranian strike on a civilian population center since the war began. Previous Iranian missile and drone salvos were intercepted or struck military targets. These cluster munitions got through. Israel's Iron Dome intercepted dozens of incoming projectiles, but the density and spread of cluster munitions made full interception impossible. Iranian state television broadcast footage of the launch, calling it Operation Larijani's Blood. Iranian military officials said more strikes were coming if Israel continued targeting political and security leadership. Israel issued no formal response to the strike, but its Air Force carried out over 60 retaliatory sorties against Iranian targets within hours. Hours after Iran's cluster missile attack, Israel struck back hard. Defense Minister Israel Katz announced that Iran's intelligence minister, Khatib, and several senior ministry officials were killed in an overnight airstrike on Tehran. The strike hit the intelligence ministry's headquarters in the capital. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi acknowledged the attacks were ongoing, but said Iran's political system could, quote, withstand the assassinations. Iranian officials have not formally confirmed Khatib's death as of this morning. Khatib had served as intelligence minister since 2021, overseeing Iran's vast domestic surveillance apparatus and external intelligence operations across the region. His portfolio included directing Iranian-backed proxy networks from Lebanon to Yemen and coordinating with the IRGC Quds force. Katz added that Israeli leaders had authorized military commanders to target any senior Iranian official on site without requiring additional approval for each strike. This is now the second minister killed by Israel in under 24 hours, following the claimed killing of security chief Ali Larijani on Monday. Iran has lost its intelligence chief, its security chief, and dozens of senior military and IRGC commanders since the war began 19 days ago. Israel's bombing campaign expanded deeper into Lebanon's capital on Tuesday. An Israeli airstrike destroyed a building in Bashoura, a residential neighborhood in central Beirut, far from the southern suburbs that Hezbollah has historically controlled. At least 6 people were killed and dozens wounded. Israel issued evacuation warnings across multiple city blocks just minutes before the strike. The attack on Bashoura marks a significant escalation. This is not a Hezbollah stronghold. This is downtown Beirut. The wave of strikes stretched from the capital through southern and eastern Lebanon throughout the day, pushing the total death toll in Lebanon past 912 since the renewed fighting began on March 2nd. More than 2,500 have been wounded. 111 children are among the dead. Lebanon's Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem held a rare press conference laying out conditions for a ceasefire: full Israeli troop withdrawal from Lebanese soil, release of all detained fighters, and an end to all strikes. Israel has not responded to the proposal. The country is being bombed simultaneously by Israeli airstrikes from above, while its economy, already collapsing before this war, has now ground entirely to a halt. In a bombshell resignation that has sent shockwaves through Washington, Joe Kent, director of the National Counterterrorism Center and a close aide to intelligence chief Tulsi Gabbard, became the first senior Trump administration official to quit over the Iran war. In a scathing resignation letter, Kent wrote that he could not, in good conscience, continue to serve when the war was started, quote, due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. He stated that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States at the time the strikes began, directly contradicting the administration's justification for the war. Kent invoked Trump's own America First doctrine, arguing the conflict serves Israeli interests, not American ones. Trump responded on Truth Social, saying he always thought Kent was, quote, weak on security, and that he was fired before he could resign. But the dismissal cannot mask what this represents: a senior intelligence official with classified access telling the American public that the intelligence did not support going to war with Iran. The resignation has cracked open a very public rift within the MAGA movement. Prominent figures, including Tucker Carlson, Laura Loomer, and several House Republicans, have rallied behind Kent, calling on Trump to end the war. Trump ally Matt Gaetz posted simply, "He's right." Oil markets surged again on Tuesday, with Brent crude pushing past $106 a barrel, the highest since 2022, as Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz enters its third unbroken week. The strait carries roughly 20% of all global oil exports, and tanker traffic has dropped approximately 70%. More than 150 ships are now anchored outside the strait, waiting and burning through their own fuel reserves. President Trump has been trying to assemble an international naval coalition to force the strait back open, but European allies have flatly refused to join. Germany's foreign minister said on Tuesday that his country would not participate in any military operation in the Persian Gulf. France and the United Kingdom issued similar statements last week. Without allied support, the United States military faces the prospect of either entering the strait unilaterally, risking direct naval combat with Iran, or watching global oil prices continue to climb. The International Energy Agency announced an emergency coordinated release of 400 million barrels from member countries' strategic reserves. Analysts say the release buys weeks, not months, and cannot replace the ongoing loss of Hormuz flow. American consumers are already paying the price. U.S. retail petrol prices averaged $4.29 a gallon nationally on Tuesday, up from $3.12 the day before the war began. Day 19, and the war has reached a new threshold. Iran fired cluster missiles into civilian neighborhoods near Tel Aviv. Israel killed a second Iranian minister in under 24 hours. Central Beirut was bombed. A top Trump intelligence official resigned, saying the war was built on a lie. And oil is at $106, with the Hormuz Strait still shut. There is no ceasefire in sight. If you want to stay ahead of this conflict, subscribe